What's up, guys? Welcome to Sports Buzz Weekly, presented by Velocity Sports. This week, we will be covering multiple topics. We're going to have some special guests today. We will have Jonah and Tamara on later to talk basketball. And after some other breakdowns of the NBA, the MLB will be shortly come after, excuse me, which then we will have CJ and Albatross, aka Jake, on at that time also. So, any questions, feel free to bring them our way, but we will go ahead and kick things off with what happened at the Masters. So, for the first time ever, we had a Japanese native take home the green jacket. Pretty impressive. He really hit the ground running. It was one of those things that, from what I could see, I did watch the day two. It was like, I believe I watched the channels 4, 5, and 6, or the holes, excuse me. It was one of the channels they had up. But regardless, it looked like the way they had the greens going and how fast they were going, and people didn't want to take the shot. People wanted to kind of be easy, not really be aggressive, not really try to push the ball and try to get those birdies. A lot of people are just being okay with the pars. Matsuyama comes out, Hideki Matsuyama, just so everyone knows. He came out and it just really hit the ground running. Really was aggressive early. Was able to do the right things. Had the short game going. Had the putter going. Really didn't have much issue throughout this tournament. He only won by a stroke, but I mean, 10 under, and you're doing good. Obviously, at the Masters, with the way those greens were, the hills were just gross. Like the TV coverage did not do justice the greens that these golfers were dealing with. The amount of break in the ball and being able to see how it's going to move left to right or right to left was just, it was pretty gross. Some of the best golfers, Jordan Spieth, Dustin Johnson, like I watched them many times. They would look at it and then go back and look again, and then do a third take to make sure they really had things set the way they wanted it. It was pretty interesting. It was a great thing to see, though. Great all around golf tournament. Just one of those things you really enjoy watching the Masters. It's just one of those long time, just a great event. It's one of those things you want to see from the top golfers. There's people who are going to be there for years to come. And there's still people. You still got Phil Mickelson there. You still got Bubba Watson. You still got some of these older guys who've been out there for a while. They're still out there playing, still competing. Jordan Spieth got fourth, actually, just to kind of ring that off. We had obviously Hideki Matsuyama at 10 under getting first, and then we had Will Zalatoris 9 under. Just one stroke off. And then you had Xander Schauffele at 7 under, Jordan Spieth at 7 under, then you had John Rahm at 6 under. That's a really, really close finish there. I mean, you really only have, 4 strokes separating fifth to first. I mean, that's what you want when you're competing for a major championship like this. So it's just one of those things that you want to see. You want to see it close. You don't want to see a guy running away and shooting 15 under and second place is 3 under. That's not what you want. It's not fun to watch. It's not good golf, which not a lot of people know good golf, but that's not good golf. So as we move things right along here, I do want to jump in, honestly, right into the good stuff. And in order to do that, I got to bring some people on. Jonah!
What's up, man?
Tamara, what's up, my people? Nice to have you guys on. How you guys doing tonight?
Good.
Good.
All right. So my question to you is LaMarcus Aldridge. how sad. That's really that's how I gotta. I guess not necessarily a great question, but I mean that's my thoughts about it. Just really disappointing. I mean, a great player, a great person, and in a sense, kind of had a. We'll see if he gets one with the Nets, but had an opportunity at a championship stolen from him.
Well, even if they were to win it, would he get a ring? He wasn't there very long. Was
That's
he
what
at
I'm saying.
over half the season?
I'm not sure.
And with
It's
him
I believe
retiring,
it's half.
not there
Yeah.
now. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's definitely sad. It reminded me a lot of. I mean, not the same condition, but it reminded me a lot of what happened with Chris Bosh. Chris
Yeah.
Bosh he retired earlier than he was wanting to. I believe his was a blood clot disorder, if I remember correctly. So you got to feel for him. I mean, look what he did. Especially the kind of player that he was. For example, at like Portland. I mean, it's still a huge blow. Even as he got older, he was still producing, even with this irregular heartbeat.
Hmm.
It's really sad. It's sad, honestly.
Yeah, I was gonna say in his rookie year, he was diagnosed with, I don't want to get it wrong, I believe it's Wolf Parkinson White syndrome, which causes that rapid heartbeat. But to be able to have a 15-year career, and
Yeah.
still manage that, and then to have something as scary as that game go and really continue. He finished the game, was still able to put points on the board and
Mhm.
talk after the game and say, hey, I wasn't able to get it going, and like to be that type of player and know like deep down, like, hey, I don't feel well, but I'm going to finish. I'm going to put points on the board for
Yeah.
my team and then have that happen. It did remind me of Chris Bosh. I remember, kind of like with Chris Bosh, just like I was so sad. I was just like, I can't even believe, but they put their lives on the line, their bodies on the line to play in the NBA for so long. And so I think we really have to cherish our players while we have them. And, I'm
Yep.
thankful that he was able to go get help. He didn't collapse, didn't end up dying on us. So I think he's leaving his career on a high note to say, hey, this is the issue. I just can't do it anymore. And to go on and still be able to live, to hang out with his family. You do all this to feed your family, get your family on the right footing. And so now he'll have the opportunity to really, hang out with them and take care of his health.
Yes. 100%. It was crazy. It was really crazy for me. Like I had forgot. I really did. Like, and then it popped up, and I was like, "Wait, what happened?" And then I was like, "Oh yeah!" Like he was such a dominant big man. He really was. Like he had a great jumper and great footwork. Just really fluid big man, and you don't see all the time. Like, so here's a trivia question for you guys. Do you know the record of the Portland Trailblazers when they had Brandon Roy, LaMarcus Aldridge, and Greg Oden? When they all played together on the floor.
Nope.
No.
They were 50 and 11. Imagine if those guys could
sounds
stay
right.
healthy.
I know, Grego. I know.
The what ifs of sports, they get us all the time. So, this next topic, it's never easy for me. I grew up, my dad's a Lakers fan, longtime Lakers fan. Grew up watching Magic. He despises Michael Jordan, which is funny, but I grew up watching Kobe Bryant. And, oh man, it still gets to me. There's times that it still bugs me. I pretty much watched his whole career. I watched this dude do things that we will never see again. Like he tried his so much to emulate MJ and give us the next MJ that we won't get there again. LeBron's great in his own way. I love LeBron, respect the hell out of him. He's an all-time Mount Rushmore for me. He changes the game of basketball, makes everyone better. That's what all-time greats do. But when it comes to Kobe and MJ, those two are right up there. Like without MJ, we don't have Kobe. That's just how it is. And then to see and hear that MJ is going to enshrine him into the Hall of Fame. No one else in my mind should be doing that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, who
Agreed.
better? Who better than to
Yes.
have that honor, and talk about his legacy. And I always share like this funny story. So when I played basketball growing up, I wore the number 24. Right. And
Yep.
so here comes Kobe Bryant. He's like, I'm going to be 24. And I like remember having this personal beef. And all my teammates would always be like, you got beef with somebody who doesn't know you. Like, he doesn't care that it's your number, And I'm like, no, but why would he do that? Like, how dare you? How dare you take my number? And so I'm thankful that, even have that memory and just say, hey, but to still acknowledge amazing basketball player. Who better? That's where I'm at.
Yep.
Who better than to do it?
Yep. 100%.
Agreed. I agree.
Let's see what else is going on here. I need to stop hitting the back button. I apologize. Wow. That's what happens when you try to do a broadcast on your phone. Just so everyone knows. That's your laughing moment of the show. Feel free. So, moving right along, I do want to talk about this a little bit, since this is it's kind of getting to be close to that time. It's going to be, if I remember correctly, it'll be 7 versus 8, and then isn't it the 9 and 10 play, and the winner plays the loser of 7 and 8? Isn't that correct? It's really a weird tournament.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
It was really weird.
I've got to look into it.
Yeah, I've checked it a couple of times, and I just thought it was a really funky thing. But regardless, we're having a play-in tournament for the 7-8 seed, and right now, let me just throw this out there, bold prediction. I'm picking Golden State to take at least one of those spots. And I say this because the way Steph Curry's playing right now, that dude can carry someone in the playoffs. He is back to doing what he does best and shooting wherever he wants. I love watching it. It gives me goosebumps watching that dude shoot the basketball. He just does things that it's incredible. I don't understand it, and that's why I like watching it, because in my mind, I can't wrap my mind around it. So what do you guys think about this, where things sit and kind of what we got going on for the NBA tournament, play-in tournament?
So right now out west, you've got Mavericks at 7, Grizzlies 8, Warriors 9, Spurs 10. There's one team that's outside of the top 10 out west that I actually think is going to make a push and get into the playoffs. That's going to be the Pelicans. Lonzo's been in and out all season. Just let him get healthy, come back if he's not already. Last I knew, he was hurt. Zion has been playing out of his mind after the All-Star break.
Yep.
And, Brandon Ingram, he's doing Brandon Ingram things. Well, New Orleans Brandon Ingram things. I really wish, this Laker team would have kept Brandon Ingram, but it is what it is. Anyways, I really think it's going to be the Pelicans going to take that number 8 spot.
I'm glad you say that. I'm with you there. I have really kind of picked up on the Pelicans this year, just kind of watching them. I don't want to say I'm a Lonzo Ball fanatic, but I've watched him kind of since UCLA, and then kind of picked up on his brothers as well. So, I think for him, being healthy is what he has to do. It seems like with all 3 brothers, they kind of all are kind of plagued by this kind of just injury-prone bodies, but they're all thin and kind of flaily with their heights and things like that. So I really do think if Lonzo can get healthy and kind of get back out there with Zion, the 2 of them together, I mean, there's nothing stopping that. The chemistry that they have, and then like Lonzo Ball, his just court knowledge, he just has the type of skill you want in a basketball player, not even just on the court, but just mind-wise. He's just smart when it comes to basketball. And Zion, who's stopping that? If I see Zion, I'm not getting in front of that. Are you getting it? I'm not. I'm moving. You go ahead and do your thing. So I'm excited for the Pelicans.
It's like, when Steph Curry, ducked down onto the ground when Giannis dunked over him. That would be me if Zion was coming at me.
Yeah. I think I might take one charge, and that'll be the last one I'd ever take.
Yeah.
I would not. He's built like an NFL linebacker. Like, I'm not getting in the way.
I know, man.
Yeah, it's immediate concussion. I'm not getting in the way.
Yeah. Nope.
Excuse me. So then moving on from there, obviously we kind of know how that is. You got, that CJ guy over here saying that the Celtics are going to do something. So we'll see. He thinks that Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown's an overflow of talent. I think it's an overrated amount of talent, but that's just me. Oh, no, they're good.
They're playing really well right now. They're playing really well right now. Up 10 on the Lakers right now. So I'm not too happy about that.
Here's the thing that I have with Boston. Give me consistency when it matters.
Yep.
Don't give me this regular season. I know how to play basketball. Give me I'm Brad Stevens and this is my team and we're going to beat you in a 7-game series. I'm tired of it. The dude is way too smart to continue to lose. I'm getting real annoyed with that. He's had so much talent. He's had Kemba Walker. Yeah, hell, he had Kyrie Irving, even though I have a kind of weird opinion about Kyrie. He's just his ego's in everyone's way is his problem. He can't get out of his own mind. I don't know what it is with the guy, but like Stephen A said, how many days off do you need? Like, for real. It's time to play. It's not time to take days off every other game. But as we move right along, my friends, where are we sitting at the top of these standings now that we know what's going on with the bottom?
So right now out west, you got the Jazz in the number 1 seed right now out west. I'm not really surprised by it whatsoever. They're a really good team. They're a real smart team, but they're kind of like Boston. Don't really play well in the playoffs. Really good in the regular season. Doesn't perform in the off or in the playoffs.
Right.
So now the surprising one here, at least to me, Phoenix is number 2. What do you guys think of Phoenix? Like, they were at the bottom, like had to win every single game and had to have teams lose last season in the bubble. And now they're number 2 out west.
I'm gonna let Tamara say something first before I have my moment because I think I'm probably the wild card here.
No, it's okay. Go ahead. I'm ready for it.
So it doesn't surprise me because they added this man by the name of Chris Paul. You might have heard of him. One of the best point guards in the league. Did we not forget what he did last year with the Oklahoma City Thunder with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in that young Thunder team? Did we forget about that? No, I didn't.
They were a really good defensive team too, though.
Yeah, but then you take that defensive mindset of Chris Paul, you take care of the ball, you give Devin Booker the ability to have one-on-ones. No one's going to be able to just slide a double team to him now. You open the court up. Look what they're doing. They're finally playing better. The chemistry's there. DeAndre Ayton's playing well. These dudes can ball, and Chris Paul's the reason why.
Yeah, chemistry, I think, is a big part of basketball in general. And then, you got to bring it home. It's hard for players when they're bouncing kind of from team to team every year. It's hard to pick up on chemistry. You're with these guys for a short amount of time. You're on the road, and to be able to build that. But I'm happy to see them playing good, solid basketball.
Yep, 100%. I'm loving it.
Yep, I agree.
So go ahead.
Go ahead. Nope. You go ahead.
I was just gonna ask. I was gonna ask where the Lakers fall to. Are they still in the 5 spot after this little? Or are they in the 6 after the little injury situation?
So they are currently 5th right now. Out west.
So does that put the Clippers in the 4 seed?
No, Clippers are in the 3, and then Denver is in the 4.
Okay.
So Denver, I'm actually kind of surprised that they're not up in the top 3. I mean, again, just kind of like Utah and Austin, very good in the regular season.
Oh yeah.
So I'm shocked that this year they're not in the top 3, especially with acquiring Aaron Gordon.
When they acquired Aaron Gordon is when they started to peak, though. So that's really been the difference for that team. Because I think at one point in time they were like 6-0 with Aaron Gordon, and
Possibly.
this Jamal Murray injury, man.
I know. Yeah, that one hurt.
Man.
Yeah, that was heartbreaking. Right
They were
when I
starting
saw
to click.
anything about his knee
Yeah.
and that he was done for the game, I'm like, he's done for the season.
Yeah.
Yep. They were starting to
Whenever you
click,
see those.
and then he went down, and I was like, it's done. He's done. And I mean, they're talking, what, 6 to 8 months, which if the season starts when they think it's going to, because they were trying to use this to reset back to normal, he's not going to be back until over halfway through next season.
Yeah.
Like, that's huge. Like, you just devastated your point guard position pretty much for Denver, so you guys better figure something out.
Yeah.
What do we got for the Eastern Conference?
So, Eastern Conference, if you're going from 7 to 10, got Miami, Charlotte, Indiana, and then Chicago.
Man, I hope Zach LaVine figures out whatever he's got going on right now, because the Bulls team was starting to click.
Yeah, they're saying right now he's going to be out. I believe it said 10 days.
Yeah, for the health and safety protocol.
Yep.
See, what exactly is that? Like,
I think that has to do. It's a COVID thing.
COVID. I think it's a.
Yeah, because now if you don't have symptoms of COVID, but you have to quarantine, it's only 10 days now instead of having to still stick out that 2 weeks. So, yeah, whenever you see health and safety protocols, and that's why they're out, it'll say 10 days that it's because of COVID.
That hurts Chicago big time.
Yeah.
That is like their man.
I mean, at least they did go pick up Vucevic before the trade deadline. You know, he can pick up the slack. He just hadn't needed to with Zach LaVine absolutely going off. After
Him and LaVine were playing so well together for the short amount of time they were together. They just were just clicking instantly. It's like Zach's been like just what's the word I'm looking for? Just salivating, trying to get that other superstar to come there. Like, someone come play with me. Someone come play with me. And then they traded for somebody, and as soon as that trade went through, Zach LaVine had his number and was texting him, hey, you need a place to stay. Hey, you need some food. Hey, you need this, that. You call me. I got you. Like, that's dedication. So, go ahead.
I think right now with the play-in tournament, we're going to be giving our predictions for the East as well. I honestly, I kind of like where the standings are right now. I think maybe Charlotte gets kicked out of it and Indiana comes in. Unless Zach LaVine comes back and he's fine, I could see the Bulls making the move to the 8th spot. But right now, I like where it's at, except for maybe flipping Charlotte and Indiana around.
I would agree with that. Yeah, I don't, Charlotte, I don't know. It's a real toss up.
They got that injury prone, ball bro. So
I know
that was unfortunate as well.
We don't need that kind of slander, sir.
No, I'll say this. I'm a LaMelo Ball fan. I generally think out of all 3 brothers, like, he is the brother that I like the most. His thing is he's so tall. Like, he's gotten so tall. He's so thin. And even though Jermaine and I'm sure that Hornets team really worked with him to pack on some pounds, he's just still so thin. And that works for him when, you want to get up and down the court. And shooting those threes and kind of getting in the lane when you need to. But
Right.
just overall health wise, he's just so thin. He's gonna be fragile on that court. And with Lonzo, who has a little bit more weight on him, he's fragile too. And we've seen that his, Jello can't even make the NBA because he can't stay healthy. So they got to figure out what's going on with that. I don't know if they need to eat some more leafy greens or
That's what I was gonna say. It could be a diet thing. It could easily be a diet thing. Like sometimes it's just the littlest thing that you got to change, and your body's fine. Like, or it could be a major thing, and for them, it could just be some little thing that they're not doing right that's making them kind of have the injury problems. Like, that was one of the devastation injuries to me for the season because I was loving watching LaMelo play. Like,
he was just hitting that stride.
Dude, he was peaking and it was getting nuts.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. If LaMelo was still playing, I think
man.
we'd be talking about a different Charlotte team and kind of where they could go.
Yep.
And then having Gordon Hayward and him being healthy too. The combination and being able to kind of sub those players in and out. But I don't know if they can't keep him healthy. I don't know what they're gonna do. So I don't want to LeVar popping over here and getting on all of us. We're going to make some headline here, but I hope that all three of them honestly can just get healthy. I would love to see Jello in the NBA too, but if they, they're just injury prone. Lonzo with the hip and LaMelo with the wrist. Like, come on, guys.
Yep. I don't. Man, yeah, I totally am with you because they're Lonzo, like you said. Lonzo's IQ for the game it's getting up to, if he keeps progressing, he'll have like elite level, in my mind, basketball IQ in the next year or two. Like, he's already seeing the court so well. He makes the passes. He understands what defenses are trying to do to the offense. Like, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, his court vision is crazy. He knows who he's looking for, and he's going to get it there. If he's looking for Zion, best believe Zion's got it. So.
Oh yeah, and Zion is such a monster, dude. What I love is that he's answered the call this year. They didn't put a cap on his minutes. They've let him go. They've let him play. He's over here. What? Didn't he have he was getting 28, 11, and 6 on 62% shooting or something? Just crazy numbers. That's what a dude of his caliber should be doing. When everyone says he's an all-star, he's playing like an all-star. Yep. I'm loving the next step. It's been great, and I hope we can watch him. I hope he can be that superstar that can carry a team through the playoffs. I hope we start to see those stars again because it's the game of basketball now is obviously we see everyone wants to get together. We all want to have a super team, and then next thing you know, it's Golden State versus everybody. It's what was the one? Oh, it's Miami versus everybody. We don't need to deal with that. I love the days when it was just, you had one superstar with the role players, and that's how it was. And I think Zion could be that guy.
Yep.
So that, I think, is where we will leave it for this week, my friends. We will be back next Wednesday with more basketball talk. In the future, we are actually currently working on a basketball show dedicated entirely an hour to just talking basketball. So everyone can definitely stay forward to looking into that. I appreciate you guys taking the time to join me this evening. I'm going to work on to the next guest here. We're going to jump right probably to the MLB talk actually next. So Jonah and Tamir, I appreciate your time. You guys have a great rest of your night.
You too. Thank you.
You too.
All right. So yes, now as we move right along in this wonderful edition of Sports Buzz Weekly, we're going to go right into the fun stuff. MLB news and notes. And before we do all this, we got to bring in the boys. What up, fellas?
What's going on?
What's going on?
Well, apparently a lot was going on with Arizona today.
So soon. I think maybe it's too early.
Yeah.
Silence, yes? Oh, okay. So, I gotta enjoy it while I can. I know my team's gonna fall short anyway. It's just what we do.
Yeah, the
So,
series just beginning. The series is just beginning.
okay. So, how is the MLB world? Excuse me. Wow. How's the MLB world looking? Where are we sitting? Jake, give me a rundown of what's going on with what? Were you talking about divisions? We can talk about the conferences. We can group it all together. Don't matter. Give me something.
I'm just going to hit on just the top 5 teams, kind of specifically in the power rankings
Perfect.
through the
We'll
first 2
take it.
weeks. I think it's pretty easy to say the number 1 team in baseball, and this is by a wide margin, is the Los Angeles Dodgers. Their depth is just unmatched. They don't even have Bellinger and Betts, and really, do they even need them? Betts came out, what I believe was on Wednesday, even asked the question. They don't even
Made
need
them
me
up.
anyway. So the team's fine. The team is operating at an extremely high level. The number 2 team would be the Padres, which is very intriguing to me because they kind of started out a little rough. They obviously have Tatis Jr. on the IL. He had a torn labral tear, I believe it was, and he will actually be back on Friday, which will help them. But the biggest thing that they have overcome is their starting pitchers. They have 10 of them on the IL, but yet they still lead the league in ERA. So you have a lot of guys who have stepped up, really made the transition into their role of, stepping into those, areas where they need help. The other thing is you have Hosmer and Myers hitting combined for a line of 341, 438, and 634 and 96 plate appearances.
Jeez.
They're just tearing it up right now. They have guys who are just taking care of business. I believe it was just today or yesterday you had oh man, I can see his face. I'm drawing a blank right now. Was the Orioles' third baseman for a long time. Got traded or went over to the Padres. I can't think of his name.
Machado?
Thank you, Machado. He's starting to get on track. Hit a big, huge 3-run jack the other day to left field. Against
It's
the
funny
Pirates.
that people forget about Machado because that dude is just fire.
Yeah, you definitely can't forget about the kid. The kid is just amazing. He's by far he's just one of the best hitters in the game right now.
Yeah, power for days. So I mean, he's doing his thing. You start to get these guys healthy on the starting pitching side, the Padres are going to make up some ground. Number 3, to me, this is one I question. I think they went with the Yankees because there's obviously a lot of money pumped into this team, but their pitching is not working out. I mean, Jameson Taillon and Corey Kluber have both been struggling. Obviously, Jameson returned from Tommy John. There's going to be a bit of a struggle there for him. Overall, the Yankees to me are kind of a question why they would be in the top 5. I think it's mostly just because of their roster that they have.
Right.
Number 4 actually panned out to be the Astros, but again, the Astros are having pitching woes also. Guys aren't working out right now. They're just getting beat up. Things aren't working.
He's
but
the
we'll
only
see.
one doing anything.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just not working. But then you look at like the Twins. It's an interesting anomaly. This team has offense for days. They can run with anybody when it comes to offense. It's just Alex Colome pitching, relieving. He's blown 2 of 4 saves. He's allowed 7 runs, 4 earned, and 5 1/3 innings worked. He lost a game to the Mariners due to him not being able to close a game. The Mariners have been able to make moves recently because of lack of being able to close games.
Oh yeah.
You allow some of these younger teams to make moves, and you're going to lose to them. So I think a lot of the separation we're going to start to see coming up in the next month or so from these teams that are contenders and pretenders is going to be in the back end of these bullpens.
I like it. I like it a lot. So, if you would have to give me A bold prediction of which one of those top 5 teams is going to miss the playoffs. Who would it be?
I'm gonna go Yankees.
Okay, CJ.
Man. I want to say I agree because I generally hate the Yankees, but I hate the Yankees, but I think you know what top 5 team I think I think I think the Red Sox just might miss it. I think the Red Sox just might miss it. Red Sox is just always the team who came out strong, but they always struggle towards the end. And it's not like, these other teams right now who's starting off slow and wind up, making the World Series, at the end of the postseason. So I'm gonna go out on a limb and say the Red Sox also because I also hate the Red Sox. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like there's a lot of personal opinions in there. No.
Uh-oh.
I personally dislike the Yankees also, but at the same time, on a more, analysis side, the reason why I picked the Yankees is just purely due to the fact that I just don't think that they're going to live up to the money that they paid to make this team. You look at the Twins; they play great together as a team. Even just through a couple of weeks of the season, you can see where some of these teams are making strides. Don't get lost on the Braves or the White Sox. Both teams getting guys back. They're making moves, and they're just starting to play better. So I think you're going to see a lot of things. Yeah, first couple weeks, couple weird things have happened, but come on, already. Like, let's highlight real quick the Cubs Brewers series. 5 games into 19 of the season, we already have a pitcher and a manager getting suspended for
Yeah.
for a game and two. Like, you get a ball thrown at Wilson Contreras, hits him on his knuckles. Then the retaliation comes back a half inning later where he throws behind him at 95 miles an hour. Words are tossed around at each other.
Yeah, the emotions definitely got flared at that point.
It's great. I love it.
It's good baseball. Good baseball.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a real baseball game if emotions isn't flared up a little bit.
Yep.
Just like the Houston and Nets series last in the playoffs.
Yep. Also, with the White Sox, Adam Eaton got fired up when he thought he was shoved off of the bag. I mean, let's be honest. It was a good slick move. Let's just be real. It was a slick
it wasn't
move.
nothing that was caught on camera. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Which made it, very, very slippery slide off
It was
here.
slick, but at the same time, if he was able to get that move in there, maybe Adam Eaton, maybe you just aren't that good at stealing bags. So stick to what you do well.
Yeah, the better base stealers are down
I'm a
there
big Adam
doing
Eaton fan, so me being a homer, I love Adam Eaton. But I mean, he was definitely a good he was definitely a good base stealer, but I don't think nobody is as good right now as Trey Turner right now. It's just Trey Turner is just amazing.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm also excited. I'm gonna have a homer moment here. I think the Mariners. The Mariners going into playing the Astros. That's all. One of those top 5 teams. We host them, so we got some big stuff coming up. Hopefully, we can take care of business of this rattled top 5 team.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh.
as long as we don't show up looking like the Nationals against the Dodgers last weekend, I think we will be okay.
We're not going to talk about that. Okay, we're not going to talk about that.
Did you get a broom from any Dodger fans? Because I'm pretty sure they busted it out on you.
Yeah, that's what the Dodgers were last weekend, guys.
But I will say the best series to watch this weekend, Padres, Dodgers. This is 2 powerhouses that I'm predicting these 2 to be in the NLCS. Right now, both of these 2 will be there. I think that they're just way too strong.
Bam, that is a hot take. Look at that.
Yeah, they're so strong. If they stay healthy, two best teams in the NL. I think we're going to see a lot this weekend. I think it's going to be interesting how the Padres are coming in hot. They got that win, coming all the way back across the country from Pittsburgh, getting ready to play a tough divisional rival. So I think it's going to be interesting what the Friars bring. Go Friars, definitely.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. Go ahead, TJ. Sorry.
no, this baseball season is about to be really interesting. With COVID playing its part, you get to see a lot of the guys that we've been itching to see in the off season sooner rather than later. That is on the bench, things like that. So, I'm excited to see what's in store, especially down here in Washington.
Oh yes. So when it comes to the Padres and it comes to that team, obviously I can't stay in that whole division, but I can actually kind of the one team that I can kind of okay with would be the Padres. Like they haven't beat us in like the wild card like every time like the Rockies, or they haven't 4-1 destroyed us in playoff series like the Dodgers. Like no. They're down there with us in the bottom, usually in the bottom feeding, just getting smoked all season. So it's great to see that team playing well. And I believe from what I read earlier today, they are expecting Tatis Jr. to be back tomorrow. Or Saturday. So I think they're hoping for tomorrow. But I don't think they're going to push him if they think one more day will make him fine Saturday. They'll let him come back Saturday. And honestly, either way, you get him in that series, you got a chance to steal a series from the Dodgers. You're doing something right. So I definitely think when it comes down to it, I feel that the Padres definitely have a chance to win that division this year. It takes this like things like this. The series is coming up. If you can't win it, split it. That's simple. That's how you're going to win that division. You can't let them beat you in all these series and think you're going to be, within a half game when it matters.
Exactly.
So that's where I'm at with that. When is the trade deadline? Isn't that like 2-3 months out, right?
Yeah, that's not for a little while. I mean, you're talking right around All-Star. That's midsummer. I mean, you're gonna have a while for a lot of things to, really. You look for like May, June. You really start to see the definitions of these teams around that time of the season. With it being such a long endurance run, basically. This long marathon of games, it's hard to predict early. Being 2 weeks in, it's hard to say that two teams are going to go to the playoffs or to a championship. Go to the World Series, go to the whatever. Try to play in the pennant race. It's hard to say because of how long the season is, but there's just certain things you can see in these teams. If health allows them to get to that point, they will take care of business. And the Dodgers and the Padres have everything to get where they need to. They have the keys to the car. It's just up to them to drive it safely to the destination it needs to go.
So let me ask this. I'm not sure if you guys heard about it, but Steven Strasburg recently had an issue in the Cardinal series, where he was talking about a spy camera, right? And so apparently what happened was Steven Strasburg, he was dealing with a pain that was shooting from his neck down to his pitching arm. And when he went into the tunnel, which is actually supposed to be that sense of privacy for players, there was a camera feed that was going down the tunnel with Strasburg, trying to, work out his shoulder and his arm and stuff like that. And that possibly, helped the Cardinals gain a leg up, with Strasburg being out. And so Strasburg made a big deal about it. And in a sense, it's like I do understand, where he does feel like when I go in the tunnel, which is pretty much we all know that's the sense of privacy for the players in general. When they're off the mound, when they're off the field, they go in the tunnel, and it's not necessarily it's pretty much off camera. There's no cameras on me, things like that. So, there were a lot of Nats fans that were actually upset about this, and I had to tell them, look, the Cardinals and what they do, the video is available to them, but there is in the back of my mind, I'm saying, if there is a privacy moment when they go in the tunnel, then why is the camera there?
Yeah.
So my question to you guys is, how do you guys feel about it?
When it comes to baseball, what hasn't been done to spy on your opponent? I guess that's kind of where I'm at that point with it. When when we can be honest to each other about what happens in baseball, then I think maybe we can have a little bit better conversation here. But at the same time, how really would that give you an edge? It's all about execution. It comes down to getting out there, watching the pitch come at you.
Exactly.
If he goes out there and pitches and knows he can't do it and gives them some goose eggs to hit, then maybe that's on you.
Yeah, 14 to 3. 14-3 was the end of that game. And listen, I wasn't happy about it. I personally feel like once you give up a grand slam, it's time for you to sit down. Just me.
Multiple grand slams.
Yeah.
Wow. Like that's just honestly, I think it's going to be a long season for Washington fans. So hold on there, Magpie. Hold on, Magpie. And guess what? Here's what I got to say about that. We're going to have more talks about this. It's going to be coming up on this show that we call The Bird's Nest.
Yep.
I think we're going to have that going and definitely have multiple conversations about how either the Nationals are going to have a good season or a bad season. So
I'm used to us starting off this bad. So
hey, don't. One thing you're not going to get from me is sympathy. You are talking to a fan of the only team that has never played in the World Series. So this is zero sympathy avenue for any baseball fan of any team. So, but we're still going to have the hard conversations, and it's going to be fun.
Definitely.
Yeah.
April 19th, guys. The Bird's Nest.
Be there.
Be there.
We have the Condor.
Or be square. Oh. So, yes, we will have the Bird's Nest airing April 19th. That will be hosted by Albatross, Jake himself, co-hosted by your boy, Condor, and special guest, CJ,
The
Magpie.
Yeah.
You know what
the
I'm saying?
gangsta.
So,
yeah, 7:30 Central. Definitely April 19th, 7:30 Central. Be there or be square.
So yeah, that is when we will air the first show for that. I'm actually very excited for things to come with the Bird's Nest. We've talked about this between me and Jake, and then at times we talked to CJ about it, and it was just time. It was time. It's going to be fun. There's going to be a lot of nice things throughout the weeks. Definitely tune in. Look what we got going on. It's not just going to be your average, sports talk. We're gonna deep dive into some things. You never know. Maybe we'll spend one show talking about baseball. Maybe we'll spend one show talking about one team in baseball. You never know. You never know what we're gonna talk about. You never know what's gonna go on. You never know the special guest. You never know. Maybe you'll win some chocolates from. What's that name? What's that place?
James Chocolate Truffles.
Boom.
There you
They're
go.
quite delicious. I've actually had them myself. He
I'm
does
st-
a phenomenal
I'm still
job.
waiting for my first box. It may have gotten lost in the mail, may have gone to Canada, but still, I'm waiting.
They're in Seattle. They're in Seattle with Randy Johnson.
Hopefully, it wasn't flown in by a bird.
Speaking of the bird's nest, seems that we have an eager fan here.
Oh, an eager one, yes, an
I
eager,
am just
fan.
I am just as excited for the
Me
bird's
too.
nest. This is a long time coming, so definitely you guys make sure you guys tune in.
Yes, and I do believe we will actually have something a special announcement on that first episode also. So more reason to turn in.
Yes, chocolate and spice. Things just got real.
Chocolate.
It's
Right.
true. That's what we do. That's what we do
That's what
here.
I'm saying.
That's what we do in
Hopefully
Velocity
mine-
Sports. We have a good time.
Hopefully, mine are on ice, not flown in by a bird in Seattle. Because if Randy Johnson's up there, last time a bird flew in front of Randy Johnson in Seattle, it was not so good.
Actually, guys, I actually, have some great news for you guys.
What do you
But
got?
we're gonna wait until April 19th on the bird's nest. Stay tuned,
Fine.
guys.
Fine.
This is
We'll see you all.
hot sports commodity.
We'll see you all in 4 days on the 19th for the unveil of the first ever bird's nest, and we'll see you guys next week at an earlier time, hopefully 7:30 to 8 Central for next week's Sports Buzz Weekly. Thank you for your time. You guys all have a great evening.
Good night.